Hey, it's now 1 o'clock. You're invited to join in Sports Talk with Lady Kathya Davis. And she's here, she always has all the hot, juicy things to say and to tell us what's happening. Let's join Kathya. Hey, Kathya, are you ready for us?
Hi, Courtney. What's up?
I'm here.
All right.
Well, what do you have for us today?
Well, it's going to be an interesting show, yeah? We have some football to talk about. The Reggae Boys, they've just announced their squad probably about an hour or so ago for the final round of the World Cup qualifiers. So we'll hear from that press conference that took place this morning. And we'll talk a little bit about some cricket. The West Indies team, they're currently in New Zealand. So we'll talk about what's going on with them and the Black Caps. And also, there is a big debate going on as to whether or not ISA should at least resume Manning Cup football. So we'll also take a jab at inserting my thoughts there. So yeah, stay with me for the next hour as we talk about what's really happening. And of course, we do have NBA and NFL updates as well as the English Premier League. So this is Sports Talk. We do this every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. I'm your host, Kathya Davis. So stay until 2 o'clock. Let's engage in some conversation. You can send a WhatsApp 997-3125 to let me know what you think of what is going on. Yeah. So, of course, we always start with matters going on in the English Premier League. So I say football, but in the English Premier League, that's where we will start. So this is now, if you're following the English Premier League, I really try to keep you up to date as every week, right? Okay. Right. So I try to keep you up to date as we go through the rounds. So I give you the results from the previous week, and then I go into the results from this week, and then we do a point standing and we see what teams going on and what teams are not. That's what I call it. What teams are going on and what teams are not. Because sometimes, it depends, especially if a team is playing in in terms of European football, which the UEFA Champions League is going on as well. So we'll also give you an update as it relates to the Champions League. So right, so we'll see how teams are balancing playing in Europe. So playing on the weekend, playing in Europe midweek, and then have to come back on the weekend and play as well. And of course, the Champions League also is doing a different format, almost like a table, like setting top eight qualifies for the round of 16, and then there's a playoffs section, and then the other teams at the bottom of the table, they will be eliminated. All right, so we are now in round 11 of the English Premier League. But before we get to the games that started round 11, let's talk about those games from last week. So, last week, we're going to go right back to last week, Sunday, right? Which would have been the second. So, results from those games: West Ham would have defeated Newcastle 3-1, Manchester City defeated Bournemouth 3-1, and Sunderland and Everton, they played to a 1-1 draw. And that completed the round 10 of the English Premier League. Now, starting round 11 of the English Premier League, just this morning, 7:30 for the Tottenham and Manchester United fans who woke up early this morning. Very interesting game. Game ended in a draw. Both teams able to score 2 goals. I know for the Manchester United team, I know I can see some of the frustration online because the team Manchester, they opened the scoring, and then Tottenham equalized in the 84th minute, and then also scored again in the 90th. or 90 plus 1 minute, but Manchester United was able to equalize to end that game with a 2-all draw. All right, and then Everton, they defeated Fulham 2-love. West Ham defeated Burnley 3-2. And after 36 minutes, it's currently 0-all between Arsenal and Sunderland. Before we get to the table, we're going to go through the rest of the games coming up in around 11. So later today, Chelsea, which you know is my side, they will take on Wolves. And then tomorrow, Brentford, they will play Newcastle. Aston Villa will play Bournemouth. Crystal Palace will play Brighton. Nottingham Forest will play Leeds. And I think the game of round 11, Manchester City will play Liverpool. And then we go to the standings now. So with teams playing, everybody now would have played 10 games and some would have played 11, but we still give you the point standing. Arsenal, they're at the top of the standing still. Right. Arsenal top of the standing still on 25 points. Second in the standings right now, as it stands, is Sunderland with 21 points. And actually, Arsenal just scored in that game against Sunderland. Manchester City, they are third. Tottenham fourth, and Liverpool rounds out the top five. And then we go to the bottom of the table. In 18th place, West Ham, they're on 10 points. Nottingham Forest, they are on 6 points. And Wolves yet to get a win still in this season of the English Premier League, riding the bottom of the table, just 2 points from their 10 games played so far. Let's see if they can change their luck and win a game. I think, well, who they play today? Because if it's Chelsea that they played, we don't want them to win. Not maybe change their luck another day, but not today. Maybe change your luck today, but not today, because they're playing my side today. So yeah, or not today. They can do it next week, or another. So yeah, that's what's going on in the English Premier League. And then, of course, I said this week we had some Champion League games. I think I'll be able to carry you through all of them, but let's see if we at least can highlight some of the English Premier League side. So Arsenal, they played Salvia Para. They defeated them 3-0. Liverpool got a big victory. They won 1-0 over Real Madrid. Tottenham, they got a victory too. They winning that game 4-love. And then on Wednesday, because those were two games, Tuesday's games, Wednesday's games, Chelsea, they played to a 2-all draw in their game. And Manchester City, they were 4-1 winners over Borussia Dortmund. And I think that's it. That's the four. So right, that's it as it relates to not just the English Premier League, but the English Premier League teams within the UEFA Champions League. As it stands now in the UEFA Champions League, as I was alluding to before, so there is a playoffs that teams will automatically qualify, which I think is the top 8 teams, yes, and then teams 9 to 24, they will play in a qualification round for the playoffs. I'm just gonna give you the top 8, I guess, in the UEFA Champions League so far. All teams now would have played 4 games. So Bayern Munich, they lead with a perfect record, as same for Arsenal, same for Inter Milan, having won 4 from 4. Obviously, Bayern having a superior goal difference, or a greater goal difference, because it's not superior, it's just 3 or so. And then Manchester City, 4th, haven't lost a game yet, but they drew 1 game. PSG, they're 5th. Then you have Newcastle in 6th. Then Real Madrid in 7th. Liverpool in 8th. So that is the top 8 so far from the first 4 games in the UEFA Champions League. And of course, as I said, it's a different format, so it's not what we're technically used to, where they go groups and then they go knockout and then they go quarterfinals. It's not it's not how it's been done this year. So let's see how that will pan out for some of the teams, because it does mean that they will be playing more football um come within this season. And of course, we have World Cup 2026 as well, where most of these players will also be taking part in the World Cup. So yeah, it will be a lot of football, a lot of it's a lot of playing time. And so managers, coaches, the teams, both club and national teams, especially teams still qualifying for the World Cup, which I think it's most teams. I think we've only we're now 22 teams. I think 22 teams so far have qualified for the World Cup. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they manage, as I said, club and national duties, because I know as it comes on to the qualification for the World Cup, which ends within this month into next month, right? And then you're going to look at international friendlies that the national teams are going to take part in leading up to the World Cup. It's going to be a lot of minutes on those legs. So yes, you'd say, okay, players, they're kind of used to this. Well, not used to this, because there's a little bit more football than I think some of them would have experienced in the past. But let's see how best it is managed. Let's see, if a player gets injured, how best those things are managed. Players who are injury prone, how best that is managed as well, how best their minutes are managed. That's going to be very, very, very important. And then, most of these players, being on contracts, and it's a whole thing. So I know for track and field it becomes important, but it's also very important too in the team sports, especially in football, because you want your country to get to the World Cup, and you also want to be continue performing for your club, because that's after the World Cup is done, it's still club football going on. So very, very interesting balance to take place over the next few months. I'll be here to keep you up to date as it relates to that. I know we're gonna talk about Reggae Boys when we come back from the break, but just want to say, talking about injuries and all, tough break again for Leon Bailey, having been injured again just before the squad is announced for this World Cup qualifier. I don't know if it's a blessing in disguise or what, but I mean, this is not the second time, within this season, or that Leon Bailey has been injured days before the national team squad is announced. We wish him a speedy recovery. Most of you, if you don't know Leon Bailey, he's currently at AS Roma, was at Aston Villa, but now at AS Roma. And we wish him a speedy recovery, and hoping that we can get to the World Cup, so that you can get to play for the Reggae Boys, because not sure what's happening there. But what is happening now is that we are going to be going to our first break right here on Sports Talk. And when we come back, we're going to be talking still football about the national team. Final round of the World Cup qualifiers. We take on Trinidad, and then Curacao at home. That's the last game. We'll talk about those. But stick and stay. Sports Talk will be right back.
Tough matches those. Man, I'm gonna for life. Arsenal from the days of fear on
It's time to move inside alive.
This Make Me Move Monday with me, Sarah and the Chirpy One.
And me, Darren Mitchell, the creative Jesus guy.
Get a cerebral workout with the brain testing exercise at 1:45.
Get those mental muscles moving.
Hungry for divine intervention?
At 2 o'clock, break your fast with
Prayer Blast. Join us for Body Talk at 2:15 for another informative program about your health.
Then at 3 p.m., we bring you Soul Talk.
Your safe space to share your truth with Pastor Philip Johnson.
At 4:30, stick and stay for more fun coming your way.
As Auntie Vashti wraps things up with
With
the Small People Show. All this and more will come alive 1 to 5. This Make Me Move Monday with me, Sarah and the Chirpy One.
And Darren Mitchell, the creative Jesus guy.
Only on the family station, Love 101.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with attorney at law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101.
All right. We're going to do a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot, hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM, grow your mind. Jim, get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving all their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station, Love 101.
Youth Connection. Shuboti and them figured he provide everything on guide we power we chat. Shuboti and them figured him alone make we appear when we did chat.
We now return you with your host, Lady Kathya Davis, on Sports Talk this Saturday. Lady Kathya, like I just do, come on my side, you know, this year I'm not going to let you down. Very difficult matches. First, second, and third in the zone will be the final matches. Curacao and Trinidad. Trinidad now go ease off for him, I can't tell you that.
Boy, Courtney, it's going to be very interesting. Speaking about the Reggae Boys, we are now going to listen to the press conference that took place this morning for the squad announcement. So stick and stay while we listen to that. And then when we come back, you'll hear my thoughts. And then we'll go a little bit more in some other topics. So let's listen to the press conference from this morning.
Thank you very much, Coach McLaren. So just a recap of the squad before we get into questions from the media. Goalkeepers, Andre Blake, Jamali Waite, Barry Chambers. The defenders, Dexter Nabakisa, Joel Latibodier, Ethan Pinner, Damien Lowe, Mason Holgate, Richard King, Rico Henry, Greg Lee, Ian Frey. Midfielders, Isaac Hayden, Bobby Reed, Roy Anderson, Joshua Handlin, John Russell. And the forwards, Shamar Nicholson, Omar Burrell, Bailey Ty Cadamatry, Demarai Gray, Ronaldo Cephas, Kaheem Dixon, Tyrese Campbell, Warner Brown, and Dujon Richards. So now we're going to open the floor for questions from the media. We'll kindly ask you to step forward to the microphone to pose your question to Coach McLaren. Thank you very much.
Those the players type quality as it pertains to the team. You know the type of play that you want from the team. So how much those type of play you can be able to do in this game?
I think what I did
this squad is, I think, nearly 18 months. And 18 months ago, the first day, the goal was qualification for the World Cup. In that time, we've used a lot of players, but we've also had a core of players who's been regular in every camp, in every game with us. And some have come in late, that have been a part of us since the summer, and we've got through the games. And what I try to do is I pick 26 players, and included in that are players who have played from day one. A few who have obviously come into the squad and performed well and stayed in the squad. But these players have shown their loyalty to Jamaica, to come to the camps, and their willingness to want to achieve the goal, which is the qualification. So that's why I picked 26. That's why I picked the players that I've played, including from day one. I trust them, they trust me. We all know what we want from each other. It's very difficult to introduce new players now. New things, we try different things. We don't think now is the time to do that. Bend down our principles, what we've been trying to do. And these games are all about attitude, fight, and the will to win. You have to have more will than anybody to win. And also with God's will, that will.
Pardon?
Morning.
And coach, we've seen where the players have isolated in the squad came on social media to show their support to Jamaica in like after devastation hurricane for coach. We would like to already have asked to qualify for the World Cup in December. And I know that most of the players will be using this opportunity as a motivation to assist us to go for the line. But has it been any additional difficulty or additional pressure on the coaching staff and the players knowing that getting over the line will start will more have after the nation? Is there any additional pressure or it is being seen
It's seen as the motivation has been there from day one. You know, Jamaica, why do they travel thousands and thousands of miles to come over? We said this 18 months ago. Everybody's goal is work for qualification. And we're on the brink. And we've come this far. We've had 18 months working towards this moment. We've had ups and downs. We've had success. We've had failures, disappointments, high lows. It all boils down to this. They know the importance. They know more than us. We don't need to pile any more pressure. We do that every campaign. But I think we've got the added pressure on the people of Jamaica who are suffering at the present moment. The devastation, the tragedy that they must be going through. We can't see that, we can't feel that. We need to be able to feel that what the people are feeling as well. And if we can come together as one and get the feel of the night, we get the feel of the people, because they're the most important. They're the most important. The people on the side, families and friends and Jamaicans all over the world. They will be so proud if we achieve this. So that's the mindset we've had from day one. So there isn't a case of coming to the last campaign, ramping up the motivation, ramping up the pressure. The pressure is there to handle that. The crowd will help us. I can't stress the importance of the game is 8 o'clock. We want to see the crowd there at 6 o'clock. We want to see them when we pull up on the coach. We want to see them when we walk onto the field to look at the field. We need to see them when we're doing the warm-up. We need them to be out, the noise, the music, the smiles.
the motivation. We want to see that. We want to see the lights of the eyes of the people, to see how much it means to them, to know it means that much also to the players who must perform, to the people. It's something which will be so special.
David, Ricardo?
Very good. Prepared to check what is what is check what is just a couple of things related to the interview. And based on what you said earlier, it seems to me like it doesn't have history in the past. Can you explain the process and exactly what you will do to ensure that it
Yeah, the process is ongoing. We have a change of association. Two appearances at junior level for Edinburgh. So that is in the process. You must acquire a passport first. He's done everything in London that he needed to do. All the documents are in place. He just needs to visit PK, apply, sign, and then pick up his passport the next day. So we're hoping to do that. Unfortunately, the plays on Sunday, so I can't come to Monday, so that'll have to be Tuesday, Wednesday. Hopefully that will be done. And we get clearance on Wednesday or Thursday for it to be followed in that first game. We've got that one, then hopefully on Friday, and then we've got the Monday for the second one. Yeah, that's always been the case whenever we've tried to acquire passports for players. And it's been difficult. That's a difficult process. We look at other countries who seem to be straight away including players and get the players in, and all of a sudden, we see Trinidad and we see Curacao with new players that come from nowhere. We don't know their process, but this is the process in Jamaica. We must adhere to that. And we do, so we try to plan early, and we have done with Rico since summer. And this has been the only opportunity because a visit to the island to collect people in and collect the passport has always been difficult in terms of the schedule that the players have.
Is this the
The process has been very difficult all the way through for 18 months, and I presume even before that. So it's one of the things that we have to deal with. But that's the process. We have to do.
Sounds like you're not very happy with it.
Everything could be quicker. I am not satisfied with anything. Everything should always be done quicker and sharper, and we should have this and we should have that. But maybe I ask for too much. But that's my job. To make sure that we fight to get the best players that we possibly can. All the other nations are doing it. We see the Trinidad, we see the South doing it. We have to do it in our way. So,
I wanted to talk a little bit about
Rico is a very good player. He's a Premier League player. And he's had bad injuries, he's come back, he's followed back. Shows the mentality of the boy. He plays like that, that kind of mentality. Confused, he was playing the game. And he's this season not played regular, but he had games. His training, his fit, he looks very, very good. He's very, very sharp. He played last week in the EFL Cup and played very well, and underneath him he was at minutes as well. So I have no hesitation. It's the ideal age. He's recovering. He's got the experience, incredibly. He can add to the squad.
do you think of
You're listening to Sports Talk. You just privilege of listening to part of the sports conference briefing with the Reggae Boys team. We'll return you to Lady Kathia as she'll give her comments following these advertisements.
It's time to move inside the live.
This Make Me Move Monday with me, Sarah and the Chirpy One.
And me, Darren Mitchell, the creative Jesus guy.
Get a cerebral workout with the brain testing exercise at 1:45.
Get those mental muscles moving.
Hungry for divine intervention?
At 2 o'clock, break your fast with
Prayer Blast. Join us for Body Talk at 2:15 for another informative program about your health.
Then at 3 p.m., we bring you Soul Talk.
Your safe space to share your truth with Pastor Philip Johnson.
At 4:30, stick and stay for more fun coming your way.
As Auntie Vashti wraps things up with the Small People Show. All this and more will come alive 1 to 5. This Make Me Move Monday with me, Sarah and the Chirpy One.
And Darren Mitchell, the creative Jesus guy.
Only on the family station, Love 101.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Habashco. Get it on Habashco. Bashco. Be everything. Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Habashco. Get it on Habashco. Bashco. Be everything where you need. Bash quality service guaranteed and Habashco. Get it on Habashco that gives you more. Yeah, Bashco. Get furniture for your house, then cleaning everything for your kitchen, rocks, mugs, and more at Bashco. The store that gives you more. Bashco.
We now return you to Lady Kathia Davis on Sports Talk. Kathia?
All right, Courtney, thank you so much. All right, so welcome back to Sports Talk. Before the break, we were listening to this morning's press conference at the Jamaica Football Federation headquarters in New Kingston, where we had the squad announcement for our final round of World Cup qualification. Important games coming up for the squad. First game being next week, Thursday, November 13, where the side will play Trinidad in Trinidad and Tobago, and then they will return to Jamaica and then host Curacao in the final game of the World Cup qualification. Finishing top of the group is paramount, as that means automatic qualification for the side, which is what we're aiming for. There is another chance if the side finishes second to play in a playoffs, but we don't want to go through that. We want to ensure that we get automatic qualification. Just to say, in terms of the squad that was announced, and I can just go over just in case you missed it. Goalkeepers Andre Blake, Jamali Waite, Tafari Chambers. The defenders Joel Latibadair, Ethan Pinnock, Richard King, Dexter Lambakisa, Greg Lay, Damian Lowe, Rico Henry, who is a newcomer, first call up, plays for Brentford. So this is Rico's first call up to the national team. Mason Holgate, Ian Frey. And then we have midfielders Isaac Hayden, Bobby Reed, Jonathan Russell, Karoy Anderson, and Jashawn Anglin. And the forwards, Bailey Takadamateri, Shamar Nicholson, Ramon Borrell, Demarai Gray, Kahim Dixon, Ronaldo Cephas, Tyrese Campbell, Dejon Richards, and we welcome back from injury, and we've seen him play for Mount Pleasant, and everybody is excited to see him back in the national colors, Warner Brown. So, I mean, I think based on still having some injury concerns and all, this is maybe the best we can get out of the team right now. So we are looking forward to next week, Thursday's game in Trinidad. So I would say wherever you can be to watch that game, to show the support. I know the Jamaican Massive in Trinidad is gonna fill up the Otterbourne Stadium we need to also show our support by being able to watch from here. And November 18, very, very important. November 18 is very, very important for us to fill in at the National Stadium as we attempt to make our trip back to the World Cup, having qualified for our first World Cup in 1998. We have an opportunity again to qualify for the World Cup, and we're very close at it. I mean, we go into this final round at the top of the standings. It will not be easy, and as a matter of fact, the math is simple as far as I'm concerned. Beat Curacao, and we're in the World Cup. That's that is the simple math. I know you would have struggled against Curacao in Curacao on the AstroTurf, but coming and playing in the National Stadium, and not just playing for what I think is just national pride, but especially what our country is going through now with the devastation down west. I think this would be a perfect opportunity. Reggae Boys would be a perfect opportunity for us to unite the nation again and something hopeful to look towards as we go through this very rough period of rebuilding and all of that, all the devastation that has happened. And I mean, pretty much, otherwise sports and everything has pretty much stopped in Jamaica. This is the only thing we right now have to look forward to, and we're hoping that the Reggae Boys can pull through. So very important. Next two games we play in Trinidad. Curacao will host, no, they will play away to Bermuda. And if you're listening, when the Bermuda coach was here, I don't know how feasible it was, when the Bermuda coach was here at the last press conference, he spoke about Bermuda being spoilers to the party. Now, Bermuda has no chance to qualify for the World Cup, but Bermuda can help Jamaica to qualify for the World Cup. Get what I'm saying? But the important, very, very important result is that Jamaica beats Trinidad. I mean, beats Curacao at home. Important. That's the most important result. Like, even if I'm not even gonna say that, but even if we don't get the best result against Trinidad and Tobago, it's important that we beat Curacao. That's all. Beat Curacao and we're off to the World Cup. It's simple maths. I mean, even a baby can understand that math. Beat aside, and we are off to the World Cup. So we're definitely looking forward. And I'm encouraging everybody who is listening, who is watching. Let's come out November 18 at the National Stadium. Let's fill those stands. We kind of need a booster in our spirits, because boy, it's been a rough couple of 2 weeks so far, and I think the Reggae Boys have something up their sleeve that will once again look to reunite this nation, and something that we are to draw on some national pride. Very, 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 very important. So we look towards that. We're gonna go for a final break right here on Sports Talk. When we come back, we're still talking about some football, because we want to talk about some thoughts going up as it relates to schoolboy football, whether they should or should not resume. We'll be right back.
It's time to move inside a live.
This Make Me Move Monday with me, Sarah and the Chirpy One.
And me, Darren Mitchell, the creative Jesus guy.
Get a cerebral workout with the brain testing exercise at 1:45.
Get those mental muscles moving.
Hungry for divine intervention?
At 2 o'clock, break your fast with
Prayer Blast. Join us for Body Talk at 2:15 for another informative program about your health.
Then at 3 p.m., we bring you Soul Talk.
Your safe space to share your truth with Pastor Philip Johnson.
At 4:30, stick and stay for more fun coming your way.
As Auntie Vashti wraps things up with
With
the Small People Show. All this and more will come alive 1 to 5. This Make Me Move Monday with me, Sarah and the Chirpy One.
And Darren Mitchell, the Creative Jesus Guy.
Only on the family station, Love 101.
Come alive, God not dead, my youth, him alive. Visions and dreaming, come alive.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with attorney at law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dallin Toussaint. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101.
All right, we're going to do a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot, hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM? Grow your mind? Jim. Get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving all their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station, Love 101.
Youth Connection. Shuboti and them figured him provide everything on guide people we chat. Shuboti and them figured him alone make we appear when we did chat.
Praise Chapel Apostolic Ministries present the Glory to Glory concert on December 5th, 2025 at Lot 131 Catherine Mount, Montego Bay. Featuring Rhoda Isabella, international artist Lionel T, among other top local acts. Gates open at 6 p.m. For tickets, contact 876-952-3668 or 876-840-6704. Part proceeds for the pre-camp kindergarten and prep school.
We now return you to the final segment of Sports Talk with Lady Kathya Davis.
All right, thank you, Courtney. All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Now, with the passing of Hurricane Melissa and the devastation that has happened in our western parishes, there has been quite a conversation going on as it relates to schoolboy football and whether or not, especially the teams in the corporate area, those who participate in the Manning Cup, if it is that the Intersecondary Schools Association, ISA, should restart this competition. And that is what we're going to talk about for a few minutes. So let's just say, let's go with this. I think I'll lead by saying in everything, balance is needed. And we know that there has been a hurricane. We know that there has been devastation. But whether you look at it, fortunately or unfortunately, life has to continue. And for me, not out of the only the love for watching sports or wanting the students to go back and play, but just for general continuation of life um, in this new norm that exists. I think that the Manning Cup competition at least should continue until the Costa Cup is able to the teams, and we don't even know, because we don't even know when the schools are going to reopen. And that's, I think that is part of the biggest thing. We do not know. One of the biggest teams in the Costa Cup and host for not only the Costa Cup playing the Costa Cup games, but also Jamaica Premier League games at states ravished. I mean, I saw a video this morning where they had the Manning Cup player, some Manning Cup players from Kingston College, and as well as the Costa Cup players from the state team. They are trying to clear the field so that their team, the state team, is able to resume some sort of training. Now, I don't think because there's devastation that we should stop the competition, especially if right now we can say these schools who are participating in the Manning Cup, they may have suffered little to no damage. The truth is that the students are back in school. So if they're back in school, it means to me, logically, that they can participate in the extracurricular activities at school. And football is just one of them. Now, the other competitions that ISA might have going on too, I think should also take part in the urban area. We understand there's a devastation. We understand. But just like in regular life, the persons within Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine and Clarendon and other parishes that have not been affected, our lives have not stopped. Have we been doing relief efforts? Definitely. Have these other schools been participating in relief efforts to try to get help to the schools in Western Jamaica who have been affected? Definitely. Not everything will come on the media. Not everything will show on the media. But does it mean that having now these students return to school to some sort of normalcy, we're going to say, oh, because I see persons saying, it's in terms of oh, the Manning Cup players are going to be getting scholarships and the Costa Cup players are not going to be exposed to any scholarships because they're not going to be playing. The truth is that for students who would have been on scholarships or been approached about scholarships, some of them, because the season is just in the middle of the coming to the middle of the season, some of them already know what they're gonna do. For the students in the West who probably would have had scholarship offers on the table, they can't even know what it will mean to sit exams in the next May-June sitting. So do we put everything on pause for, like, should everybody kind of suffer? I mean, yes, being aware that there's a devastation, but also balancing that and trying to move for us to continue with life. Because I hear people saying, oh, but people, there's no heart. How can they be? This gives us an opportunity to those funds, all those things that would have been monies would have been raised, prize money, all of that. I'm sure any school that wins any competition within this year will have no problem sharing those funds or donating all those funds to other schools that have been affected. And I think it also will give these students in the Manning Cup another reason to push on, another reason to do well, because they're fortunate enough to not be affected while there are others who are. And it also might give the opportunity for some of the players who have been affected to come and at least see some sort of normalcy in games. And that's where I kind of stand on this topic, because I'm saying yes, we have to be cognizant that persons are still, they're still persons that have not been reached. There are schools who have cannot return, and we don't know when those schools will return. There are families who have to be relocating to different parishes to start all over. Everything has been affected: school, church, work. There's literally, and everybody's just there and they're trying to pick up the pieces. But in picking up the pieces, I think also that life can continue in some sort of normalcy that we had before. It's not going to be perfect, right? Because the Intersecondary School Sports Association, ISA, is made up of principals. And I can't imagine being in that room in the discussion, especially with the president of ISA being the principal of states, right? And his school greatly affected by Hurricane Melissa. But he, in trying to want to also bring some normalcy, have said, hey, let's clear off the field. Let's see if we can get to at least the boys can come to training. At least them can go and kick in some ball. So that means that we're not only looking out for their physical but mental, because not being in a, what you call it, to have some sort of normalcy, or to have something that looks familiar, is going to be very important too for these student athletes. It's going to be very important. And we're not talking about, because it will be almost like a domino effect decision. What will happen to those students who started their terms training? Because most of the background training would have taken place in August, September. And we're now in October when the hurricane. So most of the athletes, the track and field athletes, would have started their background training and, looking to continue their strengthening work and all of that too. And we are going to have to come back again and answer hard questions come January. Will we still have track meets, and who is going to be able to participate and all of that? But right now, as it stands, if the students are in school, in my opinion, they can participate in extracurricular activities, and I see no reason why the Easter Manning Cup should not continue. As the sporting, as Issa will continue to meet about the DaCosta Cup, then to see how it is that they're gonna framework, how all of that is gonna go, because as I said, some of the schools, they don't even know when they're going to be reopening. Most of these players, they would have lost their homes. So it's really, we don't know. Like, everything is just kind of up in limbo right now. But at least let's have some of the students return to some sort of normalcy. I mean, they're already in school. They already have to go to classes. So might as well we give them back the balance with the extracurricular activities. And those are my thoughts on that. Yeah, those are my, I don't want to say short thoughts, but those are my strong thoughts on that, what's going on there. All right, so at the top of the show, we spoke about West Indies being in New Zealand. They've played two out of the five T20 games so far. And I want to tell you about those results that took place. So they would have played a game on Wednesday and Thursday. The third game comes up today, actually, at 7:15 p.m. Jamaica time. So in the first game, the scores in that game, West Indies well, New Zealand won 57-9. West Indies won 64-6. The West Indies, they were able to carve out a 7-run victory in that first game. Second game in the series, New Zealand won, which means that they leveled the series. Scores in that game, New Zealand, I believe they batted first. So they scored 207 for 5. And in reply, the West Indies came up 3 runs short, making 204 for 8. So it's even Stevens in that series. And of course, with 3 more games to go, should be continue to be a very interesting series. I mean, I am okay, confident, I suppose, in the West Indies T20 ability, but remember that this is a entire series of also one day and tests. So we will see when we get to those formats how this West Indies team will hold up, because you guys know that I do have a lot of confidence in them, and trust me, if you're a cricket fan, you'd also not have any confidence in them. Yeah, you would. They don't give us a chance to have any confidence in them. I tell you, very, 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 very difficult to do with a side like West Indies. All right, let's talk about switch quickly with the last few minutes we have in this show. So see if I can bring in everything. We go to the basketball games from last night, and then I'll tell you the games coming up over the weekend. Magic, they defeated Celtics 123-110. Cavaliers defeated Wizards 148-114. Raptors, they were 109-97 winners over the Hawks. The Pistons, they defeated Nets 125-107. Spurs were 121-110 winners over the Rockets. Grizzlies were 118-104 winners over the Mavericks. The Heat were 126-108 winners over the Hornets. Bucks defeated Bulls 126-110. Timberwolves defeated Jazz 137-97. The Nuggets defeated the Warriors 129-104. And the Thunder, they defeated the Kings 132-101. Games coming up. Today's games, the 76ers, they will play Raptors. The Hawks will play the Lakers. The Cavaliers will play the Bulls. Heat will play Trailblazers. Spurs will play Pelicans. Nuggets will play Pacers. Clippers will play Suns. And then for the games coming up tomorrow, Grizzlies, they'll play the Thunder. Knicks will play the Nets. And the Magic will play the Celtics. And Warriors will play Pacers. And Kings will play the Timberwolves. Right? And that's what's going on in the NBA. Let me see also if I can just squeeze in some NFL. Somebody reached out to me, said they appreciated the NFL update last week. So let's see if I can give you the games coming up this week. This weekend in the NFL, starting today. Yes. Panthers will play the Saints. Bears will play Giants. Texans play Jaguars. Dolphins play Bills. Vikings play Ravens. The Jets will play the Browns. Buccaneers will play the Patriots. And then for tomorrow's games, or is it Monday? Monday Night Football, the Packers will play the Eagles. And of course, when we come next week, we'll keep you up to date as it relates to the other games within these competition. Well, this has been another show as it relates to sports talk. Stick and stay to the family station Love 101 and join us every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the family station. Thanks to our viewers on Facebook and YouTube at Love FM, at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Also, if you'd like to listen to this show after it is past, you can go back to the YouTube or Facebook, or you can download the Love 101 FM app in the App Store for Apple users and for Android users. It's available in the Play Store, and you'll be able to listen to the show there. Thank you so much to Courtney for facilitating the show today. This has been Sports Talk. I'm your host, Kathya Davis. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Thank you so much, Kathia. That was quite an interesting program today.